So this is exactly the today's target. We are going to have this metal semiconductor junctions about that. And like we have a brief structure here, what we are going to have today. So we'll discuss all them one by one. So let's move on to the next slide. So first of all, let's have a discussions on this one. So here, if you see, so let's see what exactly the metals and the semiconductor. I'm just taking it again back. That here we have the sheer comparison, a simple comparison between that what exactly the metal and what exactly the semiconductor. So we know that if we are talking about the metals in the semiconductor, we are not related with the like what kind of a structure, how they looks like. We are only concerned about the energy. Because if suppose we are watching this metal and we are watching this semiconductor, so we have only the one concern. What is that concern? We have a concern what kind of a structure they have in terms of energy. If suppose any sort of the energy is being provided, then how it starts reacting towards that external agitation, towards that external drift. If suppose any external voltage, any external electric field is being applied, then that particular field, that electric voltage, how is going to make a force on the charge carriers. So that can only be possible with the help of understanding of energy band gap diagram, understanding of the same, what kind of energy they may have. If we see here, this is a very common diagram. We have already talked about that. That if we are talking about the metals, so in metals we have this conduction band and the valency band, and the electrons which are lying in valency band having sufficient amount of energy that they can easily conduct within the conduction band. Now, if suppose the same thing we are talking about the semiconductor, so the valency electrons are here which are capable to conduct, but not in general case. They need to get some energy, then they would be able to conduct. It's a very same like they are having a sufficient amount of energy valency electron anytime they can start conducting. They are having a energy gap, band gap. So until and unless this energy band gap work, this would not be able to conduct. So this is exactly the basic difference between semiconductor and metal. Let's begin this one, what we are looking for this. So if we see metal semiconductor junctions, this is basically our today's target. So if we try to understand about this one, so we have here one is a basically junction. You see here the junction formation between the metal contact and a semiconductor. So here we have the semiconductor, here we have this metal contact, same. And see why it is so much important. So if first of all we should go for to understand that as we always go for why, what and where. So now that you all know what is exactly happening within the semiconductor, that is clear to you. So many phenomena, so many effects, so many energy formations, momentum, number of things are going on. But see, this is all about the semiconductor theory. But the semiconductor is not like isolated thing, which is itself working in all the accessories associated with it in semiconductor. It means the semiconductors are not only the things which can only work with the semiconductors. They need to be collaborated. They need to be connected with the conducting materials or insulating materials too. Because if suppose you are making a circuit, so you need to have a diode connected with the help of wires. And that wire is not made up of semiconductor. So what exactly do you need? You need a junction. You need a junction which can connect the semiconductor material, its effect, with this external wiring. So this is exactly, so if we go for need for the metal semiconductor junction, so as a metal context. Second, to connect external circuitry with the device. These are two very important part because whatever the phenomena are there, this is inside the semiconductor. That phenomena is not in the case of wire. You can just take an example, like a simple example is here. If you have a piece of wood and you have a rod, so the phenomena which are being persisting within the piece of wood would entirely be different with the piece of rod. Same thing happens in the case of the semiconductors. The semiconductors having a different phenomena, and then different phenomena having a different kind of energy formation, energy differences, and lot of things about that. And all of these are only associated with the semiconductor. Just take a very simple example. Like We always talk within a semiconductor material like in a PN junction diode, we have both type of charge carriers, electrons and holes. And then electrons move from one terminal to another terminal, and similarly holes move from one terminal to another terminal. So this electron and hole formation is a phenomena of sole phenomena, independent phenomena of semiconductor material. Is it possible that if suppose we have a hole traveling from one point to another point would just go outside from the circuit? Is it possible? So this isn't just leaving a question, just think upon that. Whether it is possible or not, if suppose we have a holes and electrons generated within a piece of semiconductor or a PN junction diode, and when it is connected to the external circuitry, so is it possible that particular electron and hole will go out and just move in the external circuitry? This is exactly a question to think upon. And this question will lead the need and necessity of this metal semiconductor junction. So that's exactly, I'm just putting this question here. So just try to find out answer whether it is possible or not. So beginning like that, my question comes up like whether it is possible to holes should come out or not. See, hole is absolutely a phenomena of semiconductor material. Hole is absolute phenomena of semiconductor material. If this kind of a hole traveling or hole generation is possible in the wire which is made up of copper or some other material, then why we are just working and studying about the semiconductor? So this is exactly the same. So this whole formation phenomena, whole traveling, whole carrier transportation phenomena is possible only in semiconductor material. Even they talk like that, the effect of tunneling that happens within a specific type of semiconductor materials. The same is here. So this is basically the important part. So what happens outside of wire? So the electrons, free electrons or conducting electron. This is only the phenomena which can be possessed within the semiconductor as well as in the metal also. So who is carrying this energy within semiconductor and outside the semiconductor are the electrons. So holes can only be formatted within the semiconductor material, but they cannot move outside the semiconductor material. If any hole is capable to move outside the external circuitry, that means the particular metal has a capability to persist a hole, which is not possible for metals. So metal does not have any hole formation. What happened? The hole have only its traveling time, traveling duration within the semiconductor material. And once they complete their journey within the piece of semiconductor material, they again create a form of bond, and creation and formation keep on working. Every time electron and holes are being generated, electrons and holes both travel in the semiconductor material. Hole has only the journey till semiconductor piece of material, and they at the last they lost their energy and create a covalent bond. But electron can possibly be go outside within the wire, and it's keep on working. So within the semiconductor material, if you see here, if suppose any electron is starting from this point and coming up here, so that can come easily outside. And what happens if the holes are coming and suppose that it is being started from this point and reaching to this point, at this point, hole will get an electron from the external circuit and get recombined. So the holes starts their journey from any part of this semiconductor piece of material and ends its journey meanwhile from the electron which is being supplied from the external source from the negative terminal of the battery. So ultimately in the outer circuit, the electrons which are the free electron of semiconductor can go outside, and the electrons which are reaching here, suppose that take an example, I have 100 of electrons and 100 of electron because of this positive terminals getting attraction, and because of this attraction they are being received at the positive terminal of the battery. Now 100 electrons are coming up, so how it can manage the voltage? Obviously it must release 100 of electrons from the negative terminal. So these 100 of electrons are reaching to this point, and remaining 100 of electrons from the negative terminal of the battery being reached to the semiconductor, and these negative electrons are helping in the conduction of free electron, and helping by losing their energy in the recombination, so that overall flow of electron remains maintained, and because of this flow of electron remains maintained, a constant current flows. If this number of charge carrier increases anyhow, then obviously this particular rate of change increases and the current increases. This is exactly the whole working of. So this is very important point. So remember about that. Two different charge carriers are possible in semiconductor materials, not in insulator, not in conductors. Take care about that. Second, so here what we have a target. So now we have a target to create such kind of a matching that the electron which are having a certain energy within the semiconductor material must be capable to move out from the semiconductor material, and this is only possible once they have a good path. Just take a very simple example. You are at your home and you are having on first floor, and if suppose you want to go outside from your home from the first floor and you're watching the road is there, so you need a match so that you can come out from your first floor. Exactly, you need a certain kind of a match that can make you out from the first floor to ground. So you need to create either a slope, you need to create either a stairs or some inclined part. By this, you can match the energies. That is what, if you are on a first floor, you cannot directly jump out to the outside. You say, I'm coming from my home, I'm jumping out. That's not practically possible. You have to match this. And this matching is important. So that's why when we have a semiconductor, so we have to match with the help of some metal contacts. Generally the gold is a very good material which has a low resistivity. So in generally ICs we use this one. So this kind of a metal contact has to be created within the semiconductor material, so that the matching of energy has to be maintained from the external circuit or at the joints, because whenever we create a joints, always joints have a losses. So we have to find out such kind of a material, such kind of a metal that it won't have so much of losses. So this is exactly, if you go for the second line, effect of metal semiconductor junction, variation in device behavior, control may lost. So because you are just putting something, it means this is very small piece of semiconductor, and under a small piece of semiconductor, a lot of things are happening. If you see, if you are soldering, if you have a chip, you have something, so even this soldering have a, like I'll show you. If you see at the back side, see, so at the back side, I suppose it's visible. So at the back side, if you see here, this is just basically soldering, and you see soldering has a great drops. It's a drop of metal contact. So this is basically called as a metal contact. So when we have such kind of a metal contact, so that may contact have their own property. So property of IC connected and the property of this metal contact, both will definitely create a variation in the performance. So that's what the important part. So what effect we may have? The effect we may have that metal semiconductor junction may have a variation in the device behavior, and sometime if it is not adequate, I'm saying that if it is not adequate under this situation, it may be possible that we may lose the switching on, switching off. We have a certain time within a period of 5 milliseconds, it should be switched off. Within a period of 5 nanoseconds, it should be switched on. So that may have a variation. This is exactly the work. So beginning next. Now coming up this most important part, which is the Schottky barrier. So this is exactly the art target. Exactly the name has been given on the basis of the scientist who has discovered about all these things. So this is Schottky barrier we have, and because you people are just understanding, you're having a quantum knowledge and getting the tunnel effects are there, so that we have a target. So let's move on this about that. Just a minute. So come up with this one. So now we have a target to understand basically what exactly the Schottky barrier. On the basis of the Schottky barrier, we create the Schottky diodes. So first of all, this all because we are working in reference to the energy. Because every time we are working in reference to the energy. So if you see in this diagram, we have a certain semiconductor here. We have a metal, and now we are trying to connect this one. And at this point, a barrier has been created, which is called as a Schottky barrier. It's very similar. It is very similar as we worked in the PN junction. We have a p-type material, we have an n-type material. When we are closing them, then definitely we are having certain depletion region. A barrier is here, and that barrier is going to work with here. Same thing. Now it is coming semiconductor and the metal contact. And the semiconductor and metal contact, once they meet with each other, once they connected with each other, then the effect of the Schottky barrier comes up. This exactly we are going to study. So let's begin this one. Let's see this one, how it is working on. If you see here, a very typical type of diagram is being shown up here. This diagram is showing nothing but just only an energy reference. So here we have this one. Now we have a metal. Metal have a full of electrons because they are having a only the charge carriers, and once they are being connected, and it might be possible at that connection, very same as the depletion region has been created, diffusion has to be started, and because of this diffusion, this is the negative charge, obviously some potential will be created, and definitely it opposes. So if we go for and finding out this one, it's the Fermi level aligning at equilibrium. So once we have a talking about this equilibrium situation, see, this is basically EC is the conduction band. Talking about EFS, talking about the Fermi energy level, and talking about the metals and conduction band. So metal conduction bands are quite lower. That's quite lower. Semiconductor requires much energy to conduct, but conductors does not. So if you see here, what is the difference? So now we have this one, and this keep on rising, and suddenly it has to be fall down because it has to match its Fermi energy level, because all the metals have the Fermi energy level within the conduction band itself. So if you see this particular section is representing, conduction band of n-type material. This particular is representing the conduction band of metal. Here you see this is the gap, and that gap shows initially one to reach from semiconductor to metal, one has to increase its energy first, and then immediately requires no energy. It's like a very simple thing. Like you are running on a slope, first you need a high energy, then coming on a flat surface, then you do not require energy. So initially to just crossing this barrier, one needs to have, the electrons need to have initially high energy, and then after it does not require, because the conduction band has a very slow. So it's simply like that. You are having a certain flat road, you are working on that one. Second road is at the downfall. Like you can say, it's a very same, just take an example of slides. Right, you have slides in your park. What you do initially, you just rise up with the help of a stair on the slides, reach on the top. Once you reached on the top, then you find there the sliding. So immediately after that, because the path is smooth, before that you have a stairs, you have to put your high energy, you have to work on that and go. As much as height will be there, you have to put high energy to the same time of a structure is here. Like initially you have to put energy, then once you are reaching at the top, then you have a slide, just sit over there and come easily at the down. So this is exactly happens within the contacts of, because this is a sliding slope structure, very smooth structure for electrons easily. But initially to crossing this junction, it requires a higher energy. So if you see creation of a contact potential, this contact potential is a difference basically to be taken up because of two. One can be metal, another for the semiconductor. For the metal and the semiconductor, there should be some potential difference that has to be maintained first. Potential barrier for electron injection, because electrons need to be injected from semiconductor to metal. So this exactly the barrier difference is required. And this barrier is basically called as a Schottky barrier. So I hope so. The Schottky barrier terminology, first of all, and the phenomena, why it happens, the phenomena, terminology, phenomena, and exactly what happens when electron starts movement from semiconductor to matter must be clear to you all. So if you feel that particular session may be open for like asking questions or clearing your doubts. So well, we got that this is a Schottky barrier. So it's as simple as a PN junction potential barrier depletion region. It is as simple because the semiconductor cannot directly be connected easily with anything. If it is being connected, obviously phenomena will be there. That phenomena is nothing but a Schottky barrier. So in a simple and short and sweet language, if anybody asks to you, What exactly the Schottky barrier? You can give an answer. When a semiconductor materials are connected with the metals, at that time a potential barrier has been created, and that potential barrier requires a sufficient amount of energy to cross from semiconductor to matter, and this particular barrier is called as a Schottky barrier. So like if we see here the Schottky barrier, Schottky barriers are not the thing of our choice, it's a thing of necessity. It means if suppose we have a diode cannot be connected with the whole wire made of diode. It has to be connected with the wire, and wire is made up of conductor. So whenever we are using any semiconductor device, whether it is a IC, whether we are connecting with the diodes, whether we are connecting with the transistors, anything we are using, we have to connect it to the external conductor. And when we are connecting it to the external conductor, we have to use a metal contact. This is our necessity. And once we are trying to do it, we have to understand what kind of a losses and what kind of energy may be required for that. If suppose we do not find out that energy, if suppose we do not work upon to find out that strategy and the phenomena happens once we are connecting, definitely we are going to lose our performance of device. So that's why this is the reason we have to study, and this is a generated phenomena. What we are not creating it, we are not doing anything. So this is everywhere. So if you have a diode, if you have a piece of diode like this kind of a structure is there, it has to have a metal contact, connect hoga yoga. So this is exactly the requirement. So next on, as we see such kind of a further, we have a metal and a p type, we are having a different type. What happens in the case of the p, what happens in the case of n? Similarly we are having a different. So formation of general junction, if suppose we are talking the Schottky barriers. So let's move on. This one, this is important. So like as we were talking about, it is being created and potential is created. It means it's not easy that the free electrons of semiconductor come out from the device and easily move on to the wire, external wire. So we have to study about it, and making this forward and the reverse wise, one has to put that additional voltage also to take care about the metal contacts. Previously what we were doing, we were only thinking upon the removal of junction. PN junction was there, we were only thinking about the removal of junction and we required such a voltage, but actually more than that, a voltage is required to get rid of this Schottky barrier. So if you see here, rectifying the contacts forward by Schottky barriers. So if suppose we are applying this voltage, we have to put this voltage additionally here to rectify this one, rectifying this one. So well, rectification, right word, the meaning of this word rectification. So rectification is a very simple word to understand, that just removal and fining, refining, repolishing, how we are just filtering out the things what exactly we need among all. So this can be possible by the forward biasing, adequate voltage up lagaiye, you would be able to get this one. Electron drift becomes easier from semiconductor to metal. So this is the one of the advantage. Here it is behaving like a forward bias PN junction diode. So if suppose in this situation, if you see here, it has its own Fermi energy level that we have already discussed. We have Fermi energy of the conductor and we are biasing it. Under this situation, it is providing a sufficient amount of voltage to cross up. It means this is your initial force to ride on the slide. And once you reached over here, it is easy for you to get down. That's a very simple process. So reverse bias, if you see here, so when we are having a reverse bias, obviously, so reverse bias will definitely add up this voltage. Whatever the voltage you are providing, it will add upon. And if you see this particular diagram, this is having a same one, it is having a this one, so this gap has been created too much. So electrons flow from definitely semiconductor material to become negligible under this content, because this is itself a barrier, and this barrier can be removed through the forward biasing it is supporting. But if you are doing it reverse biased, under this reverse bias situation, it happens, it is supporting the barrier. And once it is supporting the barrier, if you see here, such kind of gap has been created. This gap is opposing and just blocking this one. So here it is behaving like a reverse wise PN junction diode. Electron flow from metal to semiconductor is retarded due to the barrier. So what happens if you have such contact? It's like this one, you have a contact, and suppose this black part, if you're capable to see this one, this black part, assume that this black part is a diode. Here you have a metal contact, here you have a metal contact. So once you are just making it forward bias, so this junction where it is being connected, this particular junction is helping you to connect. And similarly, when you are making reverse bias, so this junction where you're connecting it, it is also opposing you to remove. So additionally, not only the effect of junction, PN junction का जो effect होता है, not only the PN junction effect, but additionally this is also working and supporting you in this one. So one has to take care. तो ideally तो हम लोग किसकी बात करते हैं, we talk only कि junction पे ही barrier होता है, पर contacts पे भी barrier हो जाता है, और this barrier is called as a Schottky barrier. तो इस Schottky barrier को भी हमें forward और reverse biasing में ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. So if suppose we have such a equation, and under this equation, if you are looking for this kind of a curve, this curve is directly affected by this one in the reverse side as well as the forward bias condition. दोनों ही condition में this work will affect. So in Schottky diodes, the reverse saturation current depends only on the size of barrier. And one more thing, like specifically हर चीज, if suppose we are having a losses, we always utilize that losses. हम losses को भी use कर लेते हैं और create करते हैं. So we have created a Schottky diode. So we'll discuss it later on, and we have utilized its property. So we'll discuss the completely in the details about the Schottky diode. So we have created such kind of a diode which can work upon with the help of this such situations. So this will work upon. So ultimately, this Schottky barrier is affecting what? The forward wise and the reverse wise characteristic of diode. What will be the effect? We'll discuss it in the next one. Sorry, this is again this one. So let's hope so. In the today lecture, I'm just concluding this only this small part. It means my target is here to make you understand about basically the Schottky barriers. What exactly the Schottky barriers? What is the metal contact? What kind of a metal and semiconductor junction is here? And when they meet up, what effects come? So I'm just opening this session for the final discussion and the conclusion. So if you feel anything, you may ask.